In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get your top grade in The Curious Incident of the Dog of the Nighttime, the play for English Literature IGCSE. So first things first, we must look at the mark scheme. You're being assessed on 2 AOs for this question. First of all, demonstrate a close knowledge and understanding of text, maintaining a critical style and presenting an informed personal engagement. And then AO2, analyse the language, form and structure used by a writer to create meanings and effects. Okay, so when it comes to AO1, as you can see from the level 5 descriptor, this means you must have assured knowledge and understanding of the text. You must know it well. You must know how the different characters interrelate, how the different themes are explored. Your response must show assured personal engagement and a perceptive critical style. This means that you need to have your own opinions and you need to make an argument for them. So this second point means you actually need to say something. So you need to have an original idea about the play and the question that you then bring examples from the text in your own original argument to support. You also need to have a cohesive evaluation of language, form and structure. So this doesn't mean having a quote and then saying one small thing about it. It means really interrogating that quote, squeezing all the meaning out of it and making sure that the examples you choose really support your argument in the strongest way. So when you get the question, you need to be thinking overall, what was Simon Stevens trying to say? So whatever the question is, whether it's family, relationships, difference, regret, forgiveness, curiosity, etc., you need to have this in your mind so that you have an overall point that you're making to make sure you're hitting AO1, and then all of your paragraphs will support that overall point. So let's look at some example past paper questions. So first of all, explore the significance of the play's title, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I'm going to go through this one as an example next. How are Christopher's parents presented in the play? So this would be a really good one for considering the theme of relationships, the themes of obviously parenting, but there's 2 very, very different styles that are contrasted between Ed and Judy. You might also consider things like secrets. So there's loads of different themes and ideas you could bring into an essay on parents. Explore the importance of Mr. and Mrs. Shears in The Curious Incident. And you could consider relationships and honesty and forgiveness. Discuss the significance of truth in the play. So there's lots of different examples where different characters tell Christopher the truth. For example, Siobhan, she is always truthful with Christopher, whereas her parents often keep secrets, but then they actually end up hurting Christopher more in the long run. So you could consider, what is Simon Stevens trying to say about truth in the play? So the first thing you must do to make sure you're getting your top marks is mind map. So I'm going to use this as an example. The first question, explore the significance of the play's title, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Now I do encourage you to pause this video and do this yourself, but here are the ideas that I had when I mind mapped this question. So first of all, it introduces the theme of curiosity as central to the play. So I would have at least one paragraph exploring the theme of curiosity, particularly in regards to Christopher. The word incident suggests a dramatic moment. Explore how the incidents in the play are turning points for the character. So obviously it is the incident where he finds the dog, but this incident leads to Christopher uncovering so much more than just who killed the dog. He finds out that his mother is still alive, he finds out what he's capable of. So this incident actually leads to a moment of change. Nighttime connotes darkness, mystery and secrets. So I could have at least a paragraph exploring the theme of secrets. And also it obviously introduces the motif of the dog and its death. So I would explore the dog as a motif in the play. We start with a dead dog and we end with a puppy. So what does that symbolise? Perhaps it symbolises, something being reborn or something new. Whether that's Christopher, who now knows that he's capable of things he didn't know about before, or whether that's the relationship that Ed and Judy have with each other or have with Christopher. But we've got this theme of new life, something new is happening because something has died at the beginning and at the end there is a puppy that's been reborn. So it gives you the opportunity to explore the dog and its death. As I said, make sure you think about what else you would add and put it in the comments below. So then step 2, for AO1 you must write a really good introduction, because to show that you have an assured critical style and perceptive ideas, your introduction is a way you can showcase all of this. So again, for maximum revision, I suggest you pause this video and have a go at writing your own introduction. However, here is my example. The title, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, alludes to several of the major themes of the play: curiosity and exploration, how pivotal moments can alter families, and mystery and secrets. However, the audience needs to use inference to unpick these themes from the title. This puts the audience in Christopher's shoes, as throughout the play he has to decipher the meanings of different situations he is put in. The title therefore also explores the themes of interpretation and communication. Okay, so I hope what you can see I've done there is I've introduced the fact that the title brings up some of the major themes in the play, but I've also taken a step back and thought, why has Simon Stevens put all of these themes, jam-packed them together in the title? And my inference that I came up with was that perhaps he wants the audience to have to decipher all these different things, very much like Christopher has to do. Or maybe perhaps even makes us feel sensory overload or overwhelm, like Christopher sometimes feels when he's bombarded with information. Again, these are my ideas. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Then for the third step, you obviously have to structure your essay so that it is coherent and expresses your ideas clearly and your points make sense one after the other. So your introduction should directly answer the question and show that you have an overall idea. You should then include a minimum of 3 body paragraphs, perhaps 4 or 5 if you have time, but it's better to have 3 that are really, really well written rather than 4 rushed ones. All of these paragraphs should make a unique point that links to your argument as a whole. And lastly, you need to have a conclusion that reflects back on the overall point you made in the introduction. Okay, so you shouldn't introduce anything too dramatically new at the end. It should link back so that it's a clear, coherent argument from beginning to end. Now, this is the modern drama unit of your course, and therefore you need to make sure you're using specific vocabulary that shows the examiner that you're aware you're writing about a play as opposed to a novel or poetry, etc. So here's some of the vocabulary you should be using. If it's a poem or it's a book, you're talking about the reader. However, in this case, you need to show awareness that this is something that's being watched. Therefore, you talk about audience. You need to make sure that you, where relevant, reference stage directions and consider how these would look to the audience, as well as staging and movement and where are people in relation to each other. What does that show us? So, for example, when Christopher's in the railway scene, think about where Christopher is and how does that make us as the audience aware of how overwhelmed he's feeling. The stage directions also contains information about the set. We want to be talking about dialogue and the pace of the dialogue. There are a number of flashback scenes in The Curious Incident, particularly, for Judy. We want to show that when you're talking about how the play jumps back through time, that you are aware that that's happening and using the term flashback. Beat is used within the play. Now, a beat is when there's a moment of silence, and it's usually, if not always, used for emphasis. Sometimes that might be an awkward pause, or it might just be so that the audience has time to digest what they've just heard, as well as marking the moment. So marking the moment is when the playwright uses anything, whether that be the set, the stage directions, a moment in the dialogue, to make a moment particularly meaningful and impactful. So you might also discuss that to show that you know you're writing about a play and not a book or a poem. What else do you want to know? Please let me know in the comments, because I'm more than happy to make more videos about specific characters or themes or ideas, but just make sure you let me know in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I've also put a link to all my resources, which will guide you through the whole play, in the description below.